people have to feel heard, but also one of the other things I think I've observed is that they have to feel that they're in an environment where it's okay for them to talk, and it doesn't just
Right.
necessarily have to be about negative stuff or where they are clearly seeing poor
Right.
or misuse or abuse of
Mhm.
something. But I think they have to feel that it's okay for them to offer their opinion, irrespective of whatever level of the organization it is. And then
Mhm.
we've already made the point that they have to be asked first, which would be extraordinarily helpful. So
Mm.
what else do you find yourself recommending is the way out of this toxic situation, or typical sort of mistakes that businesses make with their people?
Well, see, in certain situations, we've not. There's some organizations that you're not going to make movement on at all, because,
Mm,
as you mentioned, they need to want to see what the real challenges are.
mm,
And the unfortunate reality is that we have found that the challenges always start at the top.
mm.
That's where it starts. It's a trickle down effect in any business. It really is. We can create as whatever culture we believe that we have in our company, and we create this culture, and then we can just sit back and believe that that's the culture that everybody's experiencing. But the reality of it is that that culture is not what everybody's experiencing, or maybe it is. But how do you know? And
Mm.
unfortunately, a yearly survey is not going to tell you that. And even if it does tell you that, are you open to those conclusions? Okay, so it all starts at the top. And one of the things that we have realized, we've seen as we approach organizations, or they've come to us, is one question is what do you feel is the challenge? What do you think the reason is for the challenges you've experienced? Because we've got to get to see what that reaction is what that perspective is from the leadership that's bringing us in.
Mhm.
We've also seen that majority of the time it's not leadership that sees it. It's middle
Right.
management or frontline workers that come to us and say, man, we really need you here.
Right.
We really need you here, but I don't know how to get you in here because I don't think they're going to be able to see it.
Ah,
And so the question is to every leader out there is, are you really willing to see what the experiences really are of your employees? And do you really understand the impact that that has on the overall bottom line of your company?
so I guess I'm a bit interested in terms of how do you sell that to somebody? I mean, if you get asked in by a person in the middle management, but strictly speaking, the influencer is at the top, how do you begin? Do you go in there with, and I'm not implying a questionnaire, but the template in your mind of the top 5 questions we want to ask you when we're next invited to your strategic meeting? Or, how do you get across to them, there's some work I think we need to do here?
Mhm.
What do you do?
There's a couple of things that our approaches are. If the one approach that usually works the best, and as long as upper level leadership is involved in this and has said, you
Mm,
know what do you have to offer?
mm,
If their curiosity has been piqued, then at that point, well, the first thing we'd like to do is, if you really want to know what's going on, we have a culture survey we can provide you.
mhm, mhm.
So every single employee takes this all anonymously, and then we all, including yourself, and then we all sit down, and then we sit down together as leadership and go over it. But we're also going to sit down with the entire company as a whole and say,
Mm,
this is what we found,
mm,
and then verify if that's what people are experiencing. Because you see, if leadership is open to seeing the reality of it, they're going to look at it and say, wow, which most of the time happens. Wow, I didn't realize that it was actually that infiltrated, or if it was that particular team, or if that was the reason why there was things happening.